Hello and welcome to the Playworms. Today we shall be looking at the movie The Equalizer. Robert McCall gets up early to go to work at Home Mart. McCall has OCD, causing him to time everything he does, from getting ready for work to washing the dishes. He is respected and well-liked by his co-workers, who have no idea of his past. Most nights, McCall can't sleep, so he goes to a local 24/7 diner where he reads books and drinks tea. A young prostitute he occasionally talks to asks if the man in his book has caught the fish. He replies, "Not yet." She finishes her pie and leaves to hail a cab. Later that night, McCall returns to the diner and runs into the same girl. As they talk, a limo pulls up across from the diner. She gets a call from her pimp, Slavy, who tells her she has a client. The next night, McCall finds the girl at the diner again, but this time she has a bruise on her face. He gives her a donut he got from work. Later, they leave the diner together, talking and walking for a while. As they're about to part ways, a car pulls up beside them. Slavy gets out and slaps the girl, whose name is Alina. McCall considers interfering but is dissuaded by Alina. McCall then goes through several days and nights without seeing Alina and becomes increasingly worried about her. One night, he learns from the diner's manager that Alina is in the ICU after being severely beaten. McCall visits her in the hospital and sees her face even more bruised and battered. After pondering for days, McCall decides to take action. Using Slavy's card, he goes to a restaurant where Slavy and his men hang out. McCall enters the office suite above the restaurant, offering $9,800 for Alina's freedom. However, Slavy mocks him, stating that the sum would only buy her a month of freedom due to her young age's profitability. A brawl ensues and McCall eliminates Slavy and his accomplices one by one. In the chaos, McCall disarms a gunman, causing him to inadvertently shoot Slavy fatally. McCall then dispatches the remaining assailants using improvised weapons. Following the bloodshed, a Russian mobster named Teddy arrives in Boston to investigate. He teams up with corrupt cops to probe McCall but finds no evidence linking him to Slavy's demise, suspecting fabricated information. Teddy starts investigating McCall. However, what they can find about him shows a clean record with no trace that he has any involvement with Slavy's death. Teddy gets the feeling that everything they know about McCall is just made-up information. He and Frank, along with another villain, wait outside in a car while another guy enters the diner where McCall is eating. The man pulls out a gun and walks over to him, kills him by slamming his head down on the table. McCall leaves town to visit his old friends Brian and Susan Plummer. McCall asks Susan for information about Teddy and the people he works for. When she returns, she tells McCall that the men he killed were part of the Russian mafia led by Vladimir Pushkin. McCall finds Frank Masters and traps him in his car, which he has rigged with a hose from the tailpipe. He tells Frank he better give him useful information about Pushkin's operations or he'll leave him in the car to die. Frank finally relents and takes McCall to a warehouse where the Russians count and stash huge pallets full of money. McCall forcibly persuades the gangsters to surrender. He ties them up in a room with all the money for the cops to find. McCall goes to Frank's safety deposit box and retrieves some money, passports, and a USB stick containing more information detailing Pushkin's operations and revealing everyone currently on Pushkin's payroll. He sends the information anonymously to the detective in charge of the warehouse bust. McCall also finds one of Pushkin's oil tankers and blows it up along with several trucks in a warehouse. Teddy calls in a team of assassins from Russia to help him track down and take out McCall. As he's having dinner with the team leader goes to the bathroom. A few moments later, McCall sits in front of Teddy and drops the bloody sunglasses from the team leader, implying he has killed him. He tells Teddy that he knows exactly who Teddy is and offers him a chance to stop everything before Robert finishes the job and takes out the entire organization. Teddy refuses the offer and Robert leaves the table after implying that he's not afraid to keep going. Teddy finds a picture of Robert coming out at work with Ralphie and finally feels he has found a pressure point on McCall. They kidnap Home Mart employees with the threat that they will kill them unless Frank meets Ted. One of the mobsters takes Ralphie to find the source of some music and is killed by McCall. The other hostage taker gets called away from the hostages by McCall speaking Russian and then gets also killed. Teddy and his other hired hands come to Home Mart. They try to find McCall and are steadily killed one by one as McCall stealthily moves about the darkened warehouse setting traps with tools found on location. He hangs one with barbed wire and stabs another one through the neck. He fights the biggest of the bad guys and is wounded until he finally kills him. Teddy finds Ralphie and is about to shoot him when McCall comes out of hiding with a stud ramset gun and shoots Teddy with it several times until he walks up to him and shoots him in the throat, killing him. 3 days later, McCall shows up in Pushkin's bathroom while he's showering in his Moscow home and lets the sink water overflow. Pushkin talks to him for a few minutes and then McCall disappears. Pushkin suddenly sees that McCall has cut the electrical wires and left them exposed on the floor. He is then electrocuted and killed. As McCall leaves Pushkin's estate, he passes numerous guard bodies, revealing he probably has killed everyone in the house. McCall returns to Boston to resume his quiet life now that everything is done. Bringing home groceries, he is approached by Alina, who is recovering from her injuries. She tells him she's gotten a real job and has started to do some reading. She also reveals she found an envelope with almost $10,000 inside with her stuff when she left the hospital. She thanks McCall for what he did, implying she somehow knows he's the one that got her free. McCall resumes his quiet life, only now he has found himself a new purpose. He has created an ad for people feeling trapped with all odds against them and no exit. One night at the diner, he receives a message asking for help. He simply replies, "Yes." If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button and subscribe for more. Until next time, stay awesome.